either very courageous or a bit crazy. Now here's Morris Lukowich in his own zone for the Hьюстон Aэрос. He's blasted on the play by Jamie Hislop. The Aeros bring it to center. Terry Ruskowski to John Hughes. Now in on left wing for Rich Preston into the Cincinnati zone. Preston with Baltimore. Up with the puck, Terry Ruskowski to Morris Lukowich. Lukowich a shot, right on, save, rebound, a shot, save made. Ruskowski in front of score! Morris Lukowich as they pulled the goaltender Lapointe out. Ruskowski made the play to pull Lapointe out and then center it through for Lukowich, who had an empty net to shoot at. He made no mistake as the Aeros jump in front, 1-0.
Good pursuit on that net. The puck originally shot by Lukowich, not hard, but left a rebound. And then eventually Ruskowski getting possession. He drew the goaltender to him, threw it across the crease, and Lukowich moving in. That's good alertness by Lukowich as he got himself back into position. And that open net goal, a big one for the Aeros to start him off here in the first period.
That for Morris Lukowich, his 22nd goal of the season. We'll get to all the club. 14 seconds left in the penalty to Larry Lund. 2:16 remaining here in the period. Here's Stapleton for Cincinnati. Now in on left wing for Brian Coates, in against Larry Hale. Coates centers it. It comes back to the right point for Plum. In a shot. Ooh, and that just missed on the short side. Stapleton at the left point. Looking for a play. Centers it for Jamie Hislop. Larry Lund's back on. It comes over to Plum. Closing in. A shot. He scores! Ron Plum as they got it to the open man. Plum, and he walked in. Ernie Wakely occupied in front, as were the Aeros' two defensemen. And Plum made no mistake as he ripped the cords on that one, tying it at 1-1.
Well, an awfully pretty passing play combination as that pass went right across from one side to the other, leaving Plum, who moved in from the right point, to fire that one past Wakely. Wakely coming out to try and cover the angle, but Plum outweighting him so that his movement, Jerry, got him a little bit out of position so that Plum could fire it in that far side.
I think on the way over, are back at full strength. Al McLeod moving down the left wing in center ice. Lead pass for Connor taken away by Brian Coates, and back come the Stingers. Coates in center ice. Clears it in on the end boards. Wakely tips it to the near corner as it's in the Hьústон zone. Taylor steps into Hislop. Now it comes loose for Fedoruk. Centers it in front. A shot. Wakely the save on Coates, and McLeod got the rebound to Taylor. Back to McLeod. It's taken away. Fedoruk was in all alone and fell. Now McLeod's tripped up by Fedoruk. They give it away in front. A shot. Oh, and Wakely robbed Brian Coates, who had a wide open net, and somehow Wakely got the glove across to stop that shot by Coates, who waited and waited and waited and then let the shot go, and Wakely robbed him.
Coates will be shaking his head as he goes to that Cincinnati bench. He had the perfect opportunity. The open net, he did not get the puck up, but it was an unusual exchange of control of that puck. The Aeros with good control, and I think it was John Tonelli tried to move the puck by one of his own men, hit him in the foot, and that gave Cincinnati the control for the backhand shot.
Face off to the left. Lee goes back to get it. Back of his own goal. 30 seconds left in that Cincinnati penalty. Time for one more rush if the Aeros hurry. Here is Schella. Lead pass for John Tonelli, moving through center. Tonelli in across the line, through the defense, in on goal. Tonelli, a shot, oh, and Lapointe. What a save by Lapointe. McLeod the rebound at the point to Schella. Shooting, he scores! John Schella, the Aeros take the lead, 2-1. First, it was a great rush by Tonelli, a super save by Lapointe, and then McLeod got it out to the point for Schella, who made no mistake.
John Tonelli on that breaking play between the defensemen. He's the one that stirred it up for them, Jerry. Almost getting a goal on that one, but finally a beautiful pass back by McLeod. He seems to know when to get in there. And Schella with that shot from the right point. Everybody in front of that net, and the goaltender down on his knees could not get a piece of that one. John Schella, what an effort. Rich Preston off that bench to congratulate him. He's got an awfully strong shot.
That time they did score.
Finally.
2-1, the Aeros leading, a power play goal. The Aeros 24th of the year. Here's Steve West clearing it into the Cincinnati zone. Back to get it Ron Plum with Larry Lund after him. Now Trognitz checks Gray, and here comes Trognitz down the left wing for Cincinnati. Really is having a tough time. He finally fires it in. And it's Stewart, a shot over the top of the goal. Stewart checked by Schella. They ram up along the boards. Now back come the Aeros the other way. Larry Lund with Steve West and Gray. Here's Larry Lund feeding it through for Gray, tied up by Plum. The goaltender Lapointe covers up on it now, and play is called. Willie Trognitz, who played in the International League, quite a jump from the International League to the WHA, and he was really
chopping the corners off that puck, coming out of his own zone. Reminded me of Teddy Taylor coming down the ice.
Oh, wait a Taylor, here's that.
No, we kid Teddy a little bit about his puck handling ability, but he's probably one of the best puck control men on the team.
Bill Gilligan winning the faceoff here in his own zone. It's cleared to center. The Arrows after it, but Ron Plum takes it away, shoots it down into the Houston zone. Wakely back to set it up for John Shella. Shella at his own blue line to Larry Lund. On right wing to Gray. Gray lead pass for West, who has a breakaway. Eno alone. West, a shot. He scores! Steve West, who has his stick straight up in the air. Now while the Arrows come out to mob, Steve West, who scores on the breakaway as the Arrows lead 3-1.
What a beautiful passing play coming all from one end to the other, Jerry. Starting behind the net, John Shella with that first pass to Gray at center, and then the long lead pass right on the stick of West as he broke in. He moved to the backhand, he held it long enough, and then slid it in behind the goaltender. A beautiful goal, and everybody on that Arrows bench coming out to congratulate him. What a nice play.
Steve West, who led the Central Hockey League in scoring last year, gets his fourth goal as a member of the Arrows, and West made no mistake as the Arrows now lead 3-1. Here's Larry Hale by Claude LaRose. Now Lund steals it. Here's LaRose taking it away. He's pulled down by Larry Lund, and Stapleton has it for Cincinnati in his own zone to Hugh Harris on right wing. Back of the goal for Stapleton. Lund is replaced by Andre Lacroix. Stingers trailing by 2, have the man advantage. Leduc in on right wing to Abgrell into the Houston zone, going in deep to Leduc. In the near corner, back of the goal for Abgrell, checked by Lacroix, couldn't reach it. Claude LaRose at the left point, now to Stapleton. Right point, Hugh Harris tees it up. A pass now over for Leduc, a score as the rebound came over for Abgrell, who fired it in to cut the Arrows' lead to 3-2. Harris to Leduc, who deflected it. Wakely made the save, and then the player standing on the doorstep, Abgrell, fired it in.
Well, that's certainly going to make it interesting. From the left point over to the right side. The shot to the corner right beside the net, and then the attempt to slide it across, and finally in the open net she went. But this is a frustrated hockey club as far as the power play opportunities go, and it had to happen sometime. The score now is the Arrows 3, Cincinnati Stingers 2.
We haven't seen the Stingers' Peter Marchant there tonight. He is in uniform but hasn't played. Stingers get the draw in the Houston zone. Scott Campbell takes it away on right wing to Ron Hensis. Bumped in the play by Bruce Grigg. Now Shella couldn't clear it. It's held in by Butch Dedmar's. A shot right on. Wakely the save is now Melrose and Campbell pushing one another. Scott Campbell and Barry Melrose, and now Melrose throws a right hand. Campbell trying to fight back. The linesmen have them tied up. Campbell has lost his helmet in that little shoving match in front of the Arrows' goal. Now Melrose and Campbell jaw away at one another, and we're going to be getting penalties here, I would think, and they're finally separated.
Well, he's probably going to give them both a couple of minutes for roughing and says, why not let them cool off here? Penalties equal to both sides, so that will not upset things. However, with the minor penalty, if that's what he does give them, Jerry, they will be shorthanded. Both teams will be shorthanded on the call. If there were major penalties, coincidental major penalties, say a 5-minute penalty or 7 minutes combined, then the teams do not play shorthanded.
Here's the announcement of the penalties. Let's see if we can pick them up maybe.
Number 4, Scott Campbell. 2 minutes each for roughing. Time of the penalties, 14-14.
And they come up with the roughing penalty call. And that is at 14-14 here in the second period. Scott Campbell and Melrose for Cincinnati.
There's Abgrell.
Winding up, but of course Abgrell trying to hold up on that blue line. Looked like he may have hurt his groin a little bit.
Here is Ruskowski flipping it through for Rich Preston in that Cincinnati zone. Goes to the corner with Claude LaRose. It's centered. Here's Ruskowski back at the right point for Shella. Shella the shot. That's blocked. Rebound. Lukowicz a shot. Preston in front to Ruskowski, and that just failed to click. Now Ruskowski centers it. Preston a shot. He scores! Rich Preston after a great centering pass by Terry Ruskowski from the near corner. Preston got the quick wrist shot away to beat LaPointe cleanly as the Arrows take a 4-2 lead.
Well, awfully pretty setup on that one. The puck eventually into the corner. Ruskowski taking his time as he went after it. He got good possession, looked around, and fired it right on the stick of Preston, who did not waste any time into that top corner. Beautiful, beautiful shot.
That for Rich Preston is his 16th goal of the season as he zeroes in on that 20-goal plateau. The Arrows lead 4-2.
We'll say it anyway.
No, I would say it would be difficult to pick it out. That's like trying to find a polar bear in a snowstorm. Here's Scott Campbell for the Arrows, clearing it into the far corner in the Cincinnati zone. Houston leading 4-2. Tomorrow night, the Arrows home against the rough, tough Birmingham Bulls. Now the puck cleared to center by the Stingers, and Scott Campbell back to get it down that Arrows defense. To Morris Lukowicz. Lead pass for Ruskowski, well too far ahead. Barry Legg back to get it for Cincinnati. Circles his own goal, clears it out in center ice. John Shella has it for Houston. On right wing, here's Shella. To Terry Ruskowski. It's tipped away by LaRose. Here's Leduc moving in. Leduc trying to make a play. He spun around. LaRose with it, a shot, and he misses on the short side. And here comes Rich Preston back on the right side for the Arrows. Lead pass for Lukowicz. Plum breaks it up. And here's Rich Leduc on the right wing, clearing it into the Houston zone. Wakely back of the net, leaves it for John Shella. A right wing pass for Rich Preston. Here's Preston, starting out in center ice. Lead pass for Terry Ruskowski, moving in across the line, trying to get around Plum. A shot, he scores! Terry Ruskowski on his backhand, and the Arrows lead it 5-2, and the Summit erupts.
Well, a beautiful play as Ruskowski breaking out of the center ice zone. Preston getting over that blue line so it wouldn't be a two-line pass, and Ruskowski just churning on the backhand. And he cut the post, Jerry. Put that puck off the post. They're tough to stop when you use those posts to bank them in. 1, 2, 3 for Terry Ruskowski. He likes that.
Emulating Steve West, who scored earlier, Ruskowski put his stick straight up in the air. That gives the Arrows a 5-2 lead. For Terry Ruskowski, the Arrows captain.